How's it going today, everybody? Welcome back to Troy's Hobbies. It's been a little bit of time since we've done something on the bench, but our winter racing series is coming up, and it's time to get some new paint jobs done and freshen up some of our trucks that have some beat up old bodies on them. We're going to be doing a brand new wild hair body for this season, and we're going to be doing something cool with our mini truck. We're going to be making a little mini wild hair as well. So we're going to go through the process of what I do to paint my RC bodies, the trimming process, the cleaning process, the painting process, and all the finishing decals, all that stuff. I'm going to kind of keep it short as far as the time lapses and things like that goes, and we'll just kind of talk about the steps in between as I get them done. As any of you guys have done this in the past, you know that doing RC bodies is very, very time consuming. If I showed you every single step of this process, this video would take hours and hours and hours and not minutes. So we're going to get into this. The first thing we're going to start with is trimming up the body. From that point, we're going to go clean it up, and then we'll spray it. And that's the longest part of the process. After that, we will decal the bodies, and then at the end, I will reinforce the bodies off screen and everything else. So that's basically my process of how I do my RC bodies. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'll save all the boring off-camera stuff. I'll save you guys the headache of watching all that, and I'll kind of show you guys the important steps of the process. So let's get into cutting up the bodies. All right, before we start cutting up the bodies, I just wanted to show you guys this little body that I got for my 24th scale truck. This is an INJORA body that you can purchase on Amazon. If you guys need, I can leave a link to it down in the description. I just want to disclose, I'm not sponsored by anybody. I don't have an affiliate link with Amazon or any of that. None of this is sponsored. This is all purchased out of my own pocket. So this little INJORA body, it's kind of like a Chevy C10. It's a little bit wider than the Max Smasher. If you look at it, it's a little bit wider, and a little bit, I think it's actually about the same body length. It's about the same, but the reason I'm going to be using this is I'm going to be putting traditional body posts onto the FMS Max Smasher, so I can run this body. The main reason I'm doing that is because I'm putting some bigger wheels and tires on it, and I kind of want the body to match the scale of the wheels and tires. So that's why we're going with this. Also, it's the correct make and model for wild hair, or the closest I could find for right now. So that's why we chose that body. So that's what we're going to do with the FMS Max Smasher. The other body I purchased, again, it's purchased with my own money, is just, Proline Chevy C10 body. You guys have seen these everywhere. I do typically run the K5 Blazer for wild hair, but this year it'll be a C10. I wasn't able to find a K5 Blazer anywhere over the holiday season, so this is just what I had to go with. It's not exactly perfect, but I think it's still going to turn out really, really cool. So let's go ahead and get into the main process of cutting up the bodies, and I'll put you on a time lapse for all that. Before we do that, I'll just cover some of the tools you're going to need real quick. Again, you always need your curved body scissors, Lexan scissors. I always have a pair of hobby grade straight scissors, just in case I need like a straight cut, X-Acto blade or a hobby knife, and a body reamer. Just in case you need to do any kind of custom work or cut out any, leave any open spaces, you can do it more properly with these tools. Alright, so we're going to pop off the body of the Max Smasher here. I just got the clear body kind of trimmed out. It still needs to be sanded, but I'm going to do that off screen. We'll just get a rough look of what it's going to look like. Like I said before, I'm going to have to make some body posts and drill some holes into the chassis to make this work on this little Max Smasher. There we go. You guys are fidgety. And don't worry, the battery's not plugged in, guys. can actually take this body off. I'm going to save that. So we'll just get kind of a look at a rough estimate of what it's going to look like. It's going to look something like this. You know, it's the proper wheelbase and everything. It's going to sit a little bit wider, but with the bigger wheels and tires that are going to be on it, I think it's going to look really, really proper. But that's kind of the idea of what I'm going for right there from the side. It's going to look something like that. Just a little bit bigger wheel and tire combination, and the wild hair paint scheme. So that's what we're going to do with this truck. Let's go ahead and cut out the big Proline body next. Alright everybody, I've got both of the bodies trimmed up. I'll show you guys my finished product here. I would say pseudo finished product. I typically don't really do a ton of sanding on my monster truck bodies. I don't do a ton of super fine detail because these trucks get absolutely beat to snot. I make them look good, but I don't necessarily try to make them look perfect. I'm not a super perfectionist because, I mean, as you can see, these bodies just get torn to shreds. This body's literally cracked in half and it's held together with duct tape at this point. So that's just kind of how it goes with monster trucks. I just want to show you guys something. If you look on the back of my LMT here, the whole back of the cage is open, and I think that left the back of my body here vulnerable over the years. This body has been on this truck since day one. This truck, you can go see the original LMT videos, and this body is out there. It was the day they came out, and everybody could make their videos. I already had this wild hair body painted up and ready to go for it. So that's just where it came from. It's lasted, what, 2 full years on Trigger King, 2 full years in Colorado RC Monster Truck Challenge, and I mean, it's still in relatively good shape. It's held together well. It just, you know, it's showing its signs of age and its wear and tear, so time to move on to something new. So this is what we ended up with. The C10 body here, cut out the front of the body here so that it can fit the drop part of the front of the LMT frame. You know, just cut off the sides. It is very dirty, so ignore all the dust. And then I cut out the back, but this time I didn't cut out the whole back. I left a good portion of this still intact, and what I hope to do is maintain some of that side-to-side rigidity that the original body lost. Once again, I'll go through it and reinforce the body like I always do, and that should give it even more longevity and even more durability than the original body did. So that's kind of the plan. I've spent a good couple hours on this already tonight, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up here, and I will catch up with you guys in the morning with the cleaning up of the bodies. That'll be the next step, and then we'll move on to taping them up and getting them prepped for paint. Well, good morning, everybody. We're in here in the kitchen for the next step of the process of painting the RC cars. The next thing I do is I will paint, or sorry, not paint the bodies, but I'll spray the bodies off with my water faucet here. It has a jet function, which allows me to get any debris or any of the plastic bits from trimming out the body. Any of that I can clear off the body, decontaminate it. I will wash it down with soap, just a little bit of dish soap, regular dish soap, nothing special. Rinse it off then, let them dry for probably an hour or two over here. When I'm drying this, the first thing I'm going to use is a coffee filter. The reason I use coffee filter is it doesn't leave lint. It'll absorb the water, but it doesn't leave lint behind, and it works as a mild abrasive on the surface of the Lexan, so it lets the paint adhere just a little bit better. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to spray off the bodies and let them dry for a little bit, and then we'll be back with the next step. All right, you guys, we got the bodies cleaned off and wiped down and everything. So we're gonna let them dry here for a couple hours and make sure there's no water droplets or anything like that on there. And then we'll move on to the next step of the process, which is taping up the bodies before paint. All right, guys, we're in here in the paint booth. It's a really fancy paint booth. It's my shed. Just got my lights on. I'm just waiting for the bodies to come to temperature, and then I'm going to spray these with the first layer of blue. Basically what I'm going to do, since it's a little bit cold tonight, I'm going to spray it. I'm going to let it get just a little bit tacky, and then I'm going to take them inside to let them cure overnight. And then we'll do the next layers in the morning. I just kind of ran out of time tonight, so I had to spray this a little bit late. So we're just going to let these kind of come to temperature, make sure there's no fogging or anything like that on the bodies. If you look here currently on the sides, it's a little bit foggy, so we have to wait for that to kind of resolve because there's a temperature difference outside. Sorry if I'm a little bit muffled. I'm wearing my my paint mask. So yeah, we're going to paint these. We're going to throw the first layer of color down. It's going to be this old Duratrax blue. This is my wild hair blue. This might be the last of this paint. I don't think Duratrax makes paint anymore. And so this color is going to become pretty rare. So these two bodies, this little mini micro wild hair that I'm going to do for the 24th scale, and this 10th scale body right here might be the last ones in this color. And if I run out, I have an equivalent or something very similar to back it with in Tamiya. So we'll see how it turns out here in just a little bit. All right, you guys, the blue is all finished up. It's nice and dry. I went ahead and peeled off the next layer of the paint job. The next color you guys are going to be seeing is the white. I'm doing both bodies at the same time, so just so you guys know, the little 24th scale is right down there. I'm doing both paint jobs at the same exact time with the same exact paint. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the white. So it's the next step of the process. Alright, you guys, we're on the last color of paint. It's going to be Tamiya PS 33. It's called cherry red, but it's more like a pink color. After that, we're going to back it with white, and this paint job will be done. I'll skip that part when I back it with white because you guys have already seen that color. And then we'll get the bodies out of the protective covering, and we'll put the decals on, and I'll show you guys the finished product. All right, everybody. Here's a quick look at the finished product. Got two different wild hair body schemes here. One 10th scale there for the Losi LMT, and then the 24th scale for the FMS Max Smasher down there. It did take a few days to get this done. It's a very time-consuming process to paint RC bodies. But the biggest part of the waiting game was actually waiting on the decals. So once we got the decals put on, I got those set up, and now the trucks look great. So now I've got the big truck and the little truck to run on the Colorado RC Monster Truck Challenge. And that's just a quick look at how I paint my bodies, you guys. Like I said, there's a lot of detail stuff that you guys don't see. A lot of waiting time for stuff to dry and doing different layers and things like that, peeling tape and all that. So that's going to do it for today on Troy's Hobbies. I just want to say thanks to you guys for watching. Subscribe if you guys are new. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. And we'll see you guys next time. Later.